me 5 seconds later. It's like, hey, Joel, you got the news for today? And I'm like, no. I felt like the kid who forgot to do his homework. I really, really did.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I think we just didn't have audio there for a second. For some reason, the audio bars went down and then up again.
Oh.
Yeah, they're fine now. They're fine now. They're fine now. I don't know what the hell that was, but yeah.
Do you mean to say people missed my candor? You didn't miss nothing, everyone. Basically, I fucked up and I'm bad at my job, and the show didn't happen almost. But it did. It did. And again, Matt's recording backup, so even if this is like fucked up for the stream now, it'll probably be fine when we re-upload it again later.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yes, we do have sound, everyone. It's fine. Audio is fixed.
It'll catch up in a minute. Yeah. You can tell now in the stream how they're a little behind.
Yeah, I've got that delay happening.
Right, of course, there. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm that old phone commercial. Can you hear me now? So how have you been, Matt? How's your week been?
Not too bad. We had to we started the show a little bit late just because I had to do the whole stream key Twitch thing because Twitch got all their stuff got hacked and leaked and everything.
Sure did.
And we saw how much all these channels that beg for money actually make.
Actually end up to our shock and surprise, the hardworking titty hot tub streamers of the world actually don't make near as much as everyone thought, and the people making fun and dogpiling on the titty streamers apparently actually do make all the money.
Yeah, well, to be surprised at how much of those people actually have stuff like Patreons and OnlyFans and how much they make on those actually.
It's going to be a little harder now if you are one of those top tier streamers to be like, hey man, we know exactly what you make now.
Yeah, you can't beg for money anymore.
Yeah, now we know how much you're making. And some of them, like the top guys, which again, names I've never heard of because I don't watch fucking streamers, they're making like hundreds of thousands of dollars every month.
Yeah, it's insane. It's quite insane.
Which, again, I'm not saying they don't deserve it. Clearly, streaming is hard. I'm not cut out for it. I can barely make this show happen. I couldn't imagine playing a whole video game and being entertaining and, keeping up with the fans and everything right there. I couldn't do it. I stream a little and then I need to, sleep till Ragnarok.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was funny. But, yeah, Twitch got hacked, everybody. So, even if you're not a partnered streamer, change your password, and they also changed your stream key.
Yeah.
So, get on that. KT helping us out early on, making me choose between the Buffalo Bills and the comic multiverse. Well, not being a sports ball guy, I know who I would pick.
Is that sports ball? I don't know.
It could be. Who knows? Maybe when he says the Buffalo Bills, it's just many of the Buffalo Bill Killer from, what is it? Freaking Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. But yeah, my week pretty chill again, just trying to, cook stuff, get stuff in order. I made a peach cobbler. You can see that on Twitter.
Nice. I started playing Far Cry 6.
Oh, nice. See, I keep waiting. There's so many games. I have a list now of I will play these when I get the next gen console. It looks good. You enjoying it?
It's pretty good. It tricked me for a minute there because you start out and you get all this little island and you think, oh yeah, you're looking at it on the map and you're like, oh yeah, it's it's not too big. Oh, they're finally learning. It's it's a manageable size. It's I'll be able to do all this sort of stuff. There's lots of stuff to do though and everything. And then you zoom out and it's like a map the size of 2 times GTA's map. And it's just this fucking massive map. I'm like, oh god.
Classic Ubisoft design. You know how I know I'm sick in the head as a video gamer and that I got the mind gremlins? I'm like, oh, new Far Cry, whatever, I could take or leave it. Oh, the bad guy from Breaking Bad is in it. That's pretty cool. Oh, there's a gear system now? Oh, there's a gear system. Oh, I gotta get in on that gear system. But Joel, it's a first-person shooter. No one's gonna be able to see it. Yeah, but I'll know.
Yeah, the gear system is pretty good. There's also a gear system with the weapons, with upgrading weapons, and I like the special weapons you get. They're called Supremos. You get a couple of them which are really cool. You get a cool weapon that shoots railroad spikes, which is a lot of fun, and you can deck out old Cuban cars with machine guns and a front fender that flips cars up when you hit them and everything. And
nice.
Yeah.
I like the idea that Far Cry has finally gotten the build idea where it's like, look, we're actually going to give you a lot of the standard abilities that would normally unlock from the jump, and you can actually like customize your play style for like every situation, because enemies like have RPG weaknesses now. Like some are weaker to some ammo types than others.
Yeah, you can equip your guns with like armor piercing rounds or soft round targets, and they too, if you like you like scan them before you attack them, you can see like, this guy's got armor piercing rounds, he'll fuck you up if you don't have the right armor on or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of good TV this week. What is it there? I caught up on Doom Patrol just before we started there. They introduced the Sisterhood of Dada. Not the Brotherhood of Dada, the Sisterhood of Dada.
Oh, nice.
They're cool. They're like they were like some of Morrison's first like attempts at making like supervillains for the Doom Patrol.
Cool.
And they're very good. In some cases, greatly reimagined, but also not so much.
Awesome.
That's super cool. What else did I watch? Ooh, Stargirl had a whole like JSA episode this week.
Stargirl's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's funny. I complained early on where it's like, oh, we're not seeing so many, locations this season. Did you know CW cut the budget? Even if they did, I think they've really made lemonade out of lemons, because it's a horror series now, and everyone gets their own horror movie segment.
Yeah, well, and as well as like staying in Blue Valley kind of makes sense since of all the stuff that happened at the end of last season. They got like lots of stuff to tie up and everything.
And it's summer, so it's not like they can keep going back to school or anything.
No.
Yeah, I loved the stuff with the JSA there. I think this is some of like Luke Wilson's best stuff he's ever done.
He's so good in it, isn't he?
He's shockingly good at it.
Yeah, I love him so much.
Yeah, he really is. He gets the character. He's perfect for it.
Yeah, he's so good, and I like Joel McHale as Starman. He's actually not terrible. I don't particularly like Joel McHale in anything else, but here he's pretty fantastic. John Wesley Shipp came back as the Flash.
He did. How cool was that?
Yeah, that's so cool.
Could you imagine being that guy traveling back in time and being like, hey, you're going to be on this Flash show. It's going to be kind of shitty and not last that long. But in the future, people will ironically embrace it so much that you will work very steadily into old age.
Yeah, you'll come back as the Flash. You'll come back as Henry Allen. Then your version of the Flash, you'll die in Crisis of Infinite Earths, and then we'll come back as Earth 2 Flash as Jay Garrick and stay around for a while.
He must just be such a nice guy that they keep bringing him back and everyone wants to work with him.
Oh, it's so good.
It's pretty amazing. What a dude. Yeah, as the chat saying, Eclipso looks great.
He's really
amazing
great
in the show.
It's the guy who played Captain Boomerang in Arrow who plays him.
Really? No shit.
Yeah, he's double dipping again.
Wow, that guy's got layers on layers as a performer.
Yeah, he's fantastic in this.
I mean, now that Eclipso looks so good, they have no excuse to not make Green Goblin look awesome.
I know.
Now.
They even made the character Paintball really well in this season. It was like some eldritch abomination.
Yeah. Mr. Dessinger, I'm like, oh, designer, because he literally has the fucking word designer in his name.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in that show. Oh, Mr. Midnighter. I'm like, oh, Midnighter. Yeah, I can tell these characters were made in the 40s. Everyone has a pun in their name.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that show's awesome. Haven't played as much New World, but I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm sort of banking that until like the end of the week, because I found out that if you don't go on for like a couple of days, you get rested XP.
Oh, really?
So it's like, whatever XP you get is like doubled or tripled, and it shows you down the bottom like how far it'll go along on your XP bar. And I logged on, was it yesterday or the day before, and hadn't played since the start of last week. So like I had like almost a whole level just waiting for me, and just like do a couple of missions and I'm leveled up again.
That is super awesome. And also, wait, is the evil Amazon Corporation actually trying to get people to take breaks on their MMO?
That's what I really liked about it. It's like it's a break incentive sort of thing.
You know what it is? I'm sure it's, Jeff Bezos being like, but look, if they're playing the New World all the time, they can't buy things on Amazon.
They can't go work in my Amazon warehouses.
Yeah, really. We gotta reward time off, guys. Come on, we're not evil. Oh yeah, I guess What If ended this week too.
Yeah, pretty good episode.
Yeah, pretty solid freaking ending. They brought it all together in a big way, and also I think made a hell of a character out of the Watcher, who sometimes is a pretty thin character, a story device
Yeah,
sometimes.
he did the thing that he's really known for in the comics, and that is intervening.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm the Watcher. It's my job to watch and not get involved, except for the 100 times that I got involved. I wonder how much bigger they're going to build that up, because he implied, like, oh, it didn't work well for my people when we got involved. So I'm like, okay, so is a Watcher going to be the last of his people, or are we going to see other Watchers next season? I wonder.
Well, I mean, since we've seen the MCU, we've technically seen other Watchers
That's
that were in
true.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes, that's right. Talking to Stan Lee there.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see like some sort of ramification of that, like he gets cast out because he intervened or something.
Mm. Or they all die after that or something. Or
Yeah,
they died after talking to Stan Lee.
yeah.
You see, Black Widow, you don't understand. All my brothers and sisters talked to Stan Lee, then they tripped in a pothole and died.
That part with the Black Widow, I was sure we were gonna be like, oh, this is like perfect. They're gonna send her into the MCU, and this is gonna be like how we have like a living Black Widow. But I
Yeah.
like that they sent her to that episode where like Hank Pym killed everyone. And
Yeah, they
it
could
was
really
funny as well
lose
because
you.
I was thinking as well, it's like, oh, that lawsuit just tied up. Is that this why it tied
Ah,
up? Is this why? Is she going into the MCU?
maybe. AXX saying, hey guys, love for Mexico. You're the best. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. We love knowing we have a more international fan base.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, now that I know I have fans in Mexico, maybe I will come down there sometime to get my teeth fixed. I know you guys have very much better rates than we do when it comes to dental care. My back teeth are jacked, and I'm too afraid to go to the dentist because I know it's going to be a fucking house loan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what if really solid? I loved that so many people were confused about the Tony Stark Gamora stuff, where it's like, wait, we haven't met her yet. You were supposed to.
Yeah, we're gonna next season. I think the first episode next season. It was just because that episode wasn't done in time because of COVID.
Oh, was it really not?
No, because of
Oh,
COVID and everything. It
that
was
was
like
the reason.
it was meant to be one of the episodes earlier on in the season.
Oh, that's a shame, but I understand.
Yeah.
Also, was I wrong, or are we getting like a new season like next year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're currently working on season 2. Yeah, they've mentioned that
Wow.
they're doing stuff like from Phase 4. Like there's gonna be like Shang-Chi stuff and Eternal stuff in it and all that.
I mean, I guess too, now that it's like a, proven formula for these things, I guess they can just keep the scripts going and keep the animation going so they have stuff regularly.
Yeah.
Also, probably like with most animations, like we'll give you a 26 episode order because
Hmm.
that's usually how animation works.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently the episodes were meant to be a little bit longer too, but COVID. Yeah, I know, as with most streaming things, it's like, yeah, it's not all, what is it, the same length. We can do whatever we want because we don't got to worry about commercials.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm not one of those people who's like you see him all the time getting mad because like an episode of WandaVision wasn't 2 hours long or something. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
they just enough time to tell the story they needed to. So
Yeah.
no need to push it.
Yeah, I think good art and good storytelling isn't constrained by time. You can tell a great story in 12 minutes. You can tell a bad story in 22 minutes.
Absolutely.
I think it's all about the story you're telling. But yeah, I mean, it was super cool. I really liked the ending. I liked how it tied up basically all of the character arcs for all these different things. We saw what became of Captain Carter. We saw what became of evil Doctor Strange and his quest to basically kind of redeem himself.
Yep.
Frickin' Killmonger continuing to be a multiversal asshole, where it's like, guys, you should really be watching him. He's not a hero like you guys.
They also have like an in now with like bringing a version of Ultron back that's like
It's true.
more dangerous than like any other Ultron.
Yeah, exactly. They got those in their back pockets too. I gotta wonder too, where it's like, hey, so y'all really like Killmonger, right? He still tests really well. Well, we still don't know what we're doing with Black Panther yet. What if we brought Killmonger back?
Yeah, well, and they might have to after Letitia Wright's comment.
You mean the second time she did
Yeah,
it? You mean
yeah.
Strike 2? As we have seen with Disney, you get a certain amount of strikes depending on, what your pecking order is in the company. So we'll see about that. But we know Killmonger, the actor in real life is a good guy who's done nothing wrong yet.
No.
He just loves his anime
Yep.
and his big cheat meals. So basically he's just like us.
Yep.
Someone saying you think the Maestro will show up next season? Oh, they'd be dumb to not do the Maestro
Yeah,
at some point.
I'm sure we'll probably get some sort of like Old Man
Future
Logan,
Imperfect.
Future Imperfect sort of stuff.
Ooh, B Black with an excellent question. What was your favorite episode of What If? Oh man. Oh, there were so
Ooh.
many good ones.
Yeah, there were so many good ones, and there were so many that like also came back to like just Hank Pym being a terrible person.
But also the whole Ant-Man family don't fuck with
Yeah.
them because they could literally kick everyone's ass if they wanted. I mean, I guess if you twisted my arm, I would say the evil Doctor Strange episode, if only because I love the time loop conceit.
Yep.
And I also think that episode is more in line with Doctor Strange stories from the comics than the movie was, because it's all about him researching and doing rituals and like looking for lost lore and his ego getting in the way. I'm like, nah, see, that's what a Doctor Strange comic story is, where the movie was more like, it's got to be an action movie at a point.
Yeah, I really like that one. I did like the Who's Killing the Avengers murder mystery one. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was smart.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was a smart. Obviously, Black Panther, Star-Lord. Like that could have been a whole goddamn series unto itself. And in fact, I think they said they had toyed with that idea at one point.
Yeah, well, it ended, like, his specific episode ended with him going back to Wakanda, and then we see like the forwarding of that story in the last episode where Ego came to Earth to take Peter.
Loved that.
And all that and he's fighting there with the Wakandans and the Ravagers and everything.
And then when they send him back, they imply that T'Challa Star-Lord actually like adopted Peter Quill and took him out into space with him.
Yeah, like that would have been so cool.
I'm like, fuck me, this universe has like endless, goddamn potential. My thing about Peter is I'm like, okay, so, he stayed on Earth, he didn't go into space. Does that mean he was actually forced to get over the problems with the death of his mother, or he just, went in a completely different direction with avoiding it?
Exactly, yeah.
Is like Star-Lord more of an adult or more of like a lovable goofball in that universe, I wonder.
I'd like a continuation of the Peggy Carter stuff, just to see like how her world's Avengers, like how different they were compared to like the normal MCU, because obviously we saw in that final episode, we saw like parts of like Winter Soldier where they're assaulting the Lemurian Star and everything.
Yeah, what does that look like in her universe? Yeah, good question.
Yeah, is Crossbones and all that still like Hydra and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, that would be interesting. But yeah, there was a lot of really good ones this season. Michael Reese, hey guys, I was wondering which episode of Star Wars Visions was your favorite. I love the Ninth Jedi personally. Okay, so I only watched the first 4. But I enjoyed the first. Of the first 4, I would say the band one was my favorite.
I thought you might like that one, yeah.
I love chibi Star Wars. I love this idea where it's like, yeah, we're not concerned about like, the dark side and the light side and who wins. We just want to put on the greatest concert in the universe.
The idea of like a Padawan just like abandoning the Jedi Order just to become like a rock star out in like the Outer Rim was really cool. That's really cool.
And that his bandmate is related to the Hutts, but he doesn't want to be a Hutt.
Yeah.
I'm also just like a sucker for like early 2000s pop punk as well. That just very much, just tickles my brain.
It was pretty good. As Michael said, the Ninth Jedi one was really good, and one that I really hope they do more of a series on. What else? What was the other one? I like The Duel, which was the first one.
Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah. Again, that's got a novel coming out this month. I think
really?
Next week, I think, which I'm eager to read about. What was the other one I really like? I like the Village Bride one, just because of like the lore of like the planet they were on, and like all this stuff about life and death and everything. That was pretty cool.
It felt very Star Trek-y, didn't it? We go to a planet, we learn about its people and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of good ones there. Yeah, I hope that keeps going. I like that experiment.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see, like, obviously it's probably going to get, like, a second season. But I'd be intrigued to see which ones get follow-ups, because some of them were, like, kind of, like, open and closed stories, while others, like, the final one, Ninth Jedi, The Duel, all these ones had, like...
Even the twins.
Yeah, had, like, endings that, like, you could do more with.
To be continued.
Yeah.
Yeah, most def. All right, I guess that's all the old news. everyone, I guess we can hop into the new stuff. And obviously, this is going to be kind of a lighter news show this week because next week is Fandome. So on Saturday, we do our show Sunday. But Matt and I thought it might be fun. We're going to do our own kind of predictions about what it's going to be. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff that they've already released because they put out little tidbits.
Yeah.
But first things first, we got some news coming from the world of X-Men. It was announced this week Steve Orlando is actually going to be taking the reins on Marauders.
That's pretty cool. He's doing stuff over at Marvel now because he's got the Darkhold event.
Yep.
And I don't think he has any other books besides that and this one now.
Yeah. Again, I think this was bound to happen eventually because obviously Marauders was Jerry Duggan's baby, and he's writing the main X-Men book now. And I'm sure everyone else was thinking, well, is he going to just keep writing both? Is that a workload he can handle, or is he going to trade it off? And indeed, he traded it off. Yeah,
and to a pretty good writer.
Absolutely, and a new writer also means the team is getting shifted around as well, too. Dawkins is coming from X Factor, so he's going to be on the team now.
Yep.
Steve Orlando, of course, an out queer man himself, and Dawkins, one of the most prominent queer mutants, so it makes sense.
Yep.
Psylocke is going to be on the team, too, which makes a lot of sense if you're reading Hellions, because that team is falling apart. And she has to go somewhere. She's also the brand new war captain, so it's cool to see her continue her story. Psylocke has had one of the weirdest stories in this Hickman X-Men era, because it's like from Fallen Angels to X of Swords to Hellions to this.
Yeah, it's very strange.
She's jumped around more than I think any mutant.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will be the one that sticks. I guess we'll see. And also, Orlando's original mutant, too, that he invented for Voices of Pride.
Yeah.
Which I did not read the Marvel Pride book. I read the DC Pride book and really enjoyed it. The Marvel one I didn't think was as good.
No?
No, I didn't think it was as good. Because it was, like, shorter is what it was. It was all, like, little shorts. They weren't, like, fuller stories, where the DC one told full stories.
Yeah. I did flick through the DC one, and, yeah, it was proper stories. And stories that I think we're getting to see more of later on as well.
Also that. The Marvel one was kind of like, hey, and here's our history of LGBT characters that we're going to tell you. I'm like, the DC book didn't have to stop and tell me about it. They just, gave me stories with the characters.
Yeah.
The DC one already assumed I knew who they were, and I did know who they were.
Because they had appeared before this.
Yeah, they were a little bit more... it's weird that DC was a little bit more brave in that regard, where it's like, no, we already know you know who these characters are. But then again, maybe that's Marvel in a nutshell, being like, no, we maybe want to sell this to people who have never picked up a comic before.
Yeah.
So yeah, this looks good. I'm interested. Loved Orlando's work. Cool to see him coming over to X-Men. And I wonder if this is like interesting or, anything we can tell about the future of the X-Men books. Where obviously, because Hickman is, done after Inferno, Duggan's on that. Are we going to see the line refresh? Are we going to see new writers and new lineups?
Oh, well, I think we're definitely going to get some new writers in some of these books just to tell new stories. But I don't think we're going to get I think we're going to continue with it's not going to get rid of all the Krakoa stuff. Like, we're not going to go back to like normal, like what mutants were before Krakoa. We're going to continue the Krakoa stuff, but I think it's probably going to be maybe a bit more accessible stories, because the Hickman stuff is pretty heady and
it's dense.
It's very dense. I imagine they might go back to a bit more open, easier to digest stories.
Yeah. I wonder, like a guy like Benjamin Percy, who's writing X-Force and writing Wolverine, I wonder where he's going to be at the end of X Lives of Wolverine. If he's going to give up one or the other, or if they're going to move him out for someone else, or if he's happy writing both. Because no one else is writing both at the moment. No one else is writing more than one book.
No.
Yeah. I guess moving on from there to some indie news. Obviously, New York Comic-Con is going on this week. I know a lot of people who went, judging by their pictures. They had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was happening until like a couple of hours ago. I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of like San Diego Comic-Con, where it just kind of happened and everyone just kind of assumed it didn't.
Yeah, it happened in spite of everything. Everyone was safe. Everyone I saw was masked up and vaxxed up and everything. And, hey, they enjoyed to have a nice time. Obviously, of course, my other co-host, Sal from Comic Pop, went and had a blast with all of his people. Ironically, Thorgy, who you will know as Professor Thorgy from the Capes and Crooks videos that we do, he lives in New York and he didn't go. He's like, nah, I had a great time staying home, playing video games, and not fighting the crowds. And I'm like, you know what, man? I hear you. Because as much fun as it looked like they were all having at the show, I'm like, that's a lot of people all in one place. I have not been around a lot of people in 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, it just takes one sick person, man, I tell you. But one of the big news stories to come from this is that Saga is returning. The big Cave Vaughn series that has been slumbering for a bit is coming back, and everyone's super, super hyped.
Everyone's super hyped, but I don't really care just because I haven't read Saga.
I mean, it's the biggest Image indie book. I read the first couple issues, and I'm like, ooh, that's fun. And then I never went back to it. But I know that people who really love indie comics are losing their minds because they didn't know how long this hiatus would be.
Yeah, well, good for them that it's coming back.
Absolutely. Also, Michael Reese helping us out once more. I really hope they announce a book with Storm as Region of Mars. That tease with her in the Swords book was great. I'd love an ongoing. Yeah, actually, I'm shocked we don't have a book that's set solely on Eriko yet.
It has to be coming. Probably after Inferno.
Storm, Queen of Mars, coming soon.
Oh, that'd be good.
Because she basically is.
Yeah.
Again, I gotta hop back on Saga too. I definitely liked what I read, but yeah, if you're an indie fan, I know this absolutely made your week. And also too, a piece of news that broke from New York Comic Con. I don't know if you've noticed this, but with every major comic company having their own streams and own events, cons aren't really the big places for news that they used to be.
No, they're not.
Yeah. Which is so lame because that used to be one of my favorite parts. Of like, ooh, who's gonna drop news at Emerald City? Who's gonna drop news at New York Comic Con? The answer is quickly becoming nobody, because everyone has their own things. Everyone has their fandoms and D23s and everything else now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that it's good because then they can kind of control how it's dropped, and you don't have
That's what they want.
Leakers, bleeding cool articles a week before, sullying the narrative and doom and gloom. Oh no, this is happening in the comic book now when something's really not.
Yeah, that's definitely what they want. They want more control over what they release and everything. They don't want people with their shitty cell phone videos and trading in infactual third accounts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's some con news for you, everyone, and some indie book news for you. I'm sure people are going to enjoy.
Yeah.
And maybe by the time Saga's finally done, I will read it. It's funny. It's a series that I know basically from memes. I know the little cat that goes lying. The cat who knows when you lie.
That's the only thing I know from it as well.
The cat that I don't even think I got to the cat that knows when you lie in the book, actually. I got to the Prince guy with a TV for a head. That's what I got to. And I'm like, yo, this guy seems interesting. Oh, and he can't get it on with his TV-headed wife. That's unfortunate. Yep, that's what I remember from reading Saga. Now, after that, we got some Marvel news here. December, we will be seeing the big Devil's Reign event, which seems to be the capstone, until further notice, of Chip Zdarsky's long time on Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's going out with a bang with a huge Daredevil event. And I mean, Daredevil's a character who doesn't really get events. He got one in Shadowland, and it was so bad, I think they never wanted to do it again.
They got scared, yeah.
They got really scared. The idea here seems to be is that the Kingpin is finally, fed up with Daredevil's shit and the shit of all the superheroes in New York, and he's decided to use, the full power of his office to bring them all down.
Yeah.
And along with this story, we're also getting tie-ins and spin-off books, and some of these actually sound pretty cool.
They do, yeah.
So one of the first ones we have is Spider-Woman. So they're actually just bringing Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, back in a brand new series that will be tying into this as it begins, which I feel like they've done that several times with Spider-Woman. They bring her back and then make the early issues tie-ins. Like, I think they did that to Spider-Verse back in the day. Like, her issues 2 and 3 were tie-ins.
Yeah.
Which, oh boy, it better be a good event, because if you, put your new series and attach it to an event and it's bad... that basically signs death for your series. I know there's a lot of Spider-Woman fans out there who will be super happy about this, so there you go.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Devil's Reign. It sounds like a cool event.
Same. I mean, everything Chip Zdarsky has done so far with Daredevil has been awesome, so I don't see how this wouldn't also be awesome.
Yeah, and if this is like the end of his book, then yeah, I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Wants to go out on a high note. The next book we have is Villains for Hire, which, yes, not Heroes for Hire. We're dusting off the old Villains for Hire. It's going to be Lady Electro, Rhino, Kraven, and a few other people who are part of a team that Fisk puts together to fight the heroes, but as we can see from the solicitations, they end up saving people.
Awesome.
Which I'm like, ooh, isn't that interesting? Maybe he puts them together to be an evil team, but they figure they don't want to be an evil team at a point.
Sounds like the team that was made during War of the Realms.
Yes,
which led by the Punisher.
Yeah, a couple of those characters were still on that team too, weren't they?
I think so, yeah.
Because because Fisk made his own Thunderbolts too during.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, during the Symbiote event. It wasn't War of Realms. It was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Infinite Nullness.
King Infinite. Infinite
King
Nullness.
in Black.
King in Black.
And Kraven's going to be on that team too, and I get the feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of Kraven with the talk of his movie coming out.
Absolutely.
All Kraven all the time, nonstop Kraven. I got a Kraven for the Hunter. And the most X-Men is going to be getting a tie-in to Devil's Reign 2, which makes sense because Cyclops and his team of X-Men are in New York again.
Yep.
Which also, the fucking balls on Fisk, I'm going to pick a fight with the goddamn X-Men.
Well, to be fair, he's the mayor of New York, and they're coming into his town. Like, yeah, I imagine it will have to have something to do because there was I think it was in Duggan's first book. They were talking about how like the X-Men like bought up like a bunch of like real estate. So I imagine it has something to do with that.
He's gonna mire them in paperwork. What he's gonna do. He's gonna have a bunch of construction happening outside the treehouse hours a day. Is what he's gonna do. That'll learn them mutants. He's just gonna put a bunch of yellow tape around so they can't leave. Our most deadly enemy yet. Goddamn New York State real estate laws. Now, the last book here is by far the most interesting, and that is The Superior Four.
Mm-hmm.
And The Superior Four is actually a Dr. Octopus book.
Yeah.
It's going to see Dr. Octopus, I'm assuming the one we saw at the end of Sinister War, who is a clone, maybe, or something, whatever. They're all clones.
Whatever it is, it's not gonna fucking matter.
Yeah, whatever the fuck he was by the end of that story, teaming up with different versions of Dr. Octopus from throughout the multiverse.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm sure he did something like this as Spider-Man, or something happened with like it was like a Spider-Verse book. I think I'm just trying to remember what it was. It was like a bunch of different Spider-Man, but they all were questionably good. Because I think it had like Spider-Man on it. It had like a Norman Osborn Spider-Man and everything. I can't remember what the fuck that book was called. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a bit. But also, hey, why do we think Marvel would be interested in telling a story about Dr. Octopus in the multiverse right now? I wonder why.
I wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like there's any big, multimedia projects happening that involve multiversal Dr. Octopuses. One of these guys is just going to be Molina, isn't he? One guy's just going to look like Alfred Molina,
I hope so.
And then that guy's going to stick around and be like, I'm the one true Dr. Ock now. Me, Alfred Molina Ock.
Yeah, and then once the movie's out on DVD, he'll go away.
Yeah, I'm gone now. Bye-bye. I mean, that's basically what Ultimate Doc Ock was, but he was also, like, younger in the Ultimate Universe, so it's not really him.
We still have that coming up at some point. Something to do with, Venom and Maker and the Ultimate Universe, all that sort of stuff happening. I have no idea when the hell that's going to get told.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, Kate's is keeping that in his back pocket for whenever he's ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, these sound like interesting tie-ins, and I like there's not a lot of them, and they all feel pretty organic. I like as well that the event itself is 6 issues. Yes, very short.
Yeah, and it's like it should be done pretty quickly, and it's kind of like the Darkhold event where that is just got like an Alpha and an Omega, and like the actual event is the tie-ins.
Yeah. say what you want about Marvel recently, but they've been good at keeping their events nice and short.
Yeah.
Gone are the days of 12-issue long event arcs where it's like, oh god, is it done yet?
I know. Oh,
Or like, okay, this one ran out of steam a while ago.
yeah, let's do one that's 52 issues.
I mean, hey, I guess X of Swords was really long, but it's like, hey, it's X-Men, you know, they get the Age of Apocalypse exemption.
To be fair, as well as that ran through like all of the X-Men books, and there was a lot of them at the time.
3 a week.
Yeah, it was over pretty quickly.
Yeah, you ended up getting 3 a week, so you're absolutely right. I guess with that all done, everyone, we can hop on over to Fandom Predictions. As we said, it happens next week. There's some stuff that they've already kind of revealed about it. We actually got to see a Young Justice Season 4 poster this week, which a lot of people were loving.
Yes.
My favorite thing about it is that Rocket gets to be on the poster now.
Because the lawsuits have been solved.
Jeez, it's almost as if they've settled litigation with the McDuffie estate, and now her and Static can exist again. I say that even though like Static and Hardware were in season 3 of Young Justice, it's just like don't talk to them for too long. You can talk to them for 3 seconds.
They'll just appear in the background, like just out of like focus, but just so much that you can tell who they are.
An interesting thing about the poster too is that it was all the original members of the team, not like any of the newer characters, and I feel that this is Vietti and Wiseman being like, okay, maybe we went a little too nuts in the Outsider season, introducing everyone in the DC universe because we thought we might not get another season.
Yeah, the one thing that like I'd completely forgotten about it was that Miss Martian obviously is going as like the White Martian version of herself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I like there was like a moment I was like, what the fuck? What have they done to White Martian? And they're like, oh yeah, she's White Martian. She's not pretending to be the green one. It looks weird. It looks like they colored it wrong. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no, wait, no, they colored it right, actually.
Yeah.
Peacemaker is getting a show, obviously, and we're seeing some more clips for that.
Yeah, looks good.
John Cena being John Cena. I like Peacemaker enough to watch a show about him.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, this is the first thing that's like directly spun off from like a good DC movie, so that helps.
It does, indeed. I'm intrigued to see like what characters James Gunn will have in that show, because we got Vigilante. We saw Vigilante, and obviously there's some people from the Suicide Squad film being in there. That team that Waller had is like his handlers now. I'm intrigued to see who the villains are of that, because I don't think they've said anything about the villains.
No, it's true, and it's not like Peacemaker has any like excellent villains.
No, he has Eagly, the Eagle.
Oh yeah,
I know his dad's gonna be in it. There's all this stuff with like his dad. He's played by Robert Patrick.
Oh, that's cool. Is he gonna be a Nazi like he is in the comics?
I don't know. I know like they described I think someone described like a scene they saw at like some event or something where he hates what his son is and everything. He calls his son weak and everything.
Also, is his father going to be alive, or is he going to be a ghost that he sees? Because that was like an era in Peacemaker where he saw his father as a ghost talking shit about him.
Yeah, could be.
Could be. What are some other things? Oh, we're probably going to get another trailer for The Batman.
We are. They've like confirmed we are.
What do we think about that? Because we all liked the little teaser and then nothing.
Yeah. Well, the movie got pushed back because of COVID.
Yeah. Batman literally caught COVID.
Yeah. Well, I imagine this will be like the trailer, because this will be trailer 1. So I imagine it'll be the trailer that sort of describes what the plot is with Riddler and all that sort of stuff.
We'll probably get a real release date, I imagine.
Yeah, we have one, don't we?
Don't we? I mean, I know the trailer. I know when we got the teaser, it's like it comes out ? And then they kept pushing it back.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess we'll see. I imagine they'll nail that down more proper. Video game stuff. We actually saw what looked to be some clips from that Suicide Squad video game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, because we don't even know what kind of game it is. They just say it's a Suicide Squad video game. Like, well, there's lots of different genres for video games. What is it? Is it a fucking Fortnite? I don't know.
I have a feeling it's going to be like that that upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy game. Where you like control one person. Or it'll be that, or it'll be a 4-player game. Where each person takes like one member.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I would certainly like that. Also, Samoa Joe is in that game and voices King Shark,
Yeah, nice.
which I find very interesting.
Yeah, I really want to see like what the rest of the Justice League and everything are like in that game, because
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
point of the game is to kill the Justice League.
So says that in the title. I mean, we'll probably get some more Shazam and Black Adam because I know they teased them as well.
Yeah, I imagine we'll get like a Black Adam teaser and probably
Hope it's good.
something from Shazam. So although knowing David Sandberg, it'll be some big troll, and I hope it is. I
Yeah.
hope it is.
Likewise, those are always fun. What else is there you're looking forward to, Matt? What else do we think that we're probably going to end up seeing at this?
I think we're gonna get something from the Flash film. I don't think we're getting a trailer or anything, but I imagine we'll get, I don't know, some behind the scenes thing. Maybe a first look at like Michael Keaton as Batman and the woman who's playing Supergirl.
That would be the perfect thing for the Flash. Look, don't think about Ezra the Choker Miller. Instead,
That's what they did when they announced
Michael
the
Keaton.
film. They're like, oh yeah, we've got a Flash film, but wait, it's got to have Ben Affleck as Batman and Michael Keaton. They had all that artwork. It was just all Batman.
Yeah. I see on the poster we have here, they have that Crypto the Super Dog movie too, which I think is actually going to be a big success. I think that one's going to be a huge crossover hit,
I
actually.
imagine we'll see something like that. The Rock is voicing Crypto.
I mean, what else do you want? Talk about a guy who double dipped.
Yeah, that's great. I'm looking forward to that.
The Rock plays a talking dog, and it's a superhero movie that you can bring your kids to. Again, saying it right now, that movie's going to make like $2 billion.
Yeah, the plot sounds really fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm very much on board with that one. Hey, what about that Batman game too?
Which one?
The one where you could play all the different Bat family members, but not Batman himself.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah, or Arkham by Night, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see something. I think that just got pushed back recently.
Right, because again, we saw the trailer at the first fandom, and then nothing.
Yeah.
As NR reminds me, what about their NFTs? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
DC's getting into the NFT business.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Very confusing NFTs too. Hey, here's superhero art on floppy disks, because no one under the age of like what, fucking 20 gets that.
Doesn't particularly make much sense.
I made a joke. I was very proud of being like, wow, copying Hero's digital image into art that is frequently stolen and that actively pollutes the planet. Who came up with this? Fucking Lex Luthor?
Yeah, I took screenshots of it, so now I own all those NFTs, no matter who buys them.
Yeah, no one can stop Matt. He did it. He beat the system. Someone was quick to tell me apparently the company DC is working with here says that they try and cut down NFT admissions by like 99%. And I'm like, okay, sure. I still think these are stupid as fuck.
They're so fucking stupid. Just because you're doing the best you can to cut down, make it like good for the environment doesn't mean it's not fucking stupid.
It's all the worst stuff about cryptocurrency, which is already dumb and shady and everything, joined together with all the worst stuff about like the art world, which is also controlled by like 5 weirdos, and nothing is actually really worth anything. It's worth whatever the 5 weirdos who puppeteer the industry say it's worth, and everyone wants to make a quick buck, so everyone wants to hop into it.
Yep.
So it's just a lose-lose thing.
Yeah.
As someone on my Twitter feed said, man, I miss the days of Beanie Babies. At least when you bought them, you got a toy afterwards.
That's true, yeah.
The chat's saying, too, I think we'll see anything more about, Webtoons on here, because apparently that Webtoons deal did really fucking good for DC.
Yeah, I have to imagine we'll see maybe some, like, new announcements of, like, series, because they've only got the Batman series at the moment, which has been really good.
Yeah, from what I understand, and shit, they're doing like a live action short film.
Yeah, well, did you see the pictures of it? It looks great.
Yes, I have. It looks shockingly good. Goddamn, Lisa Foyles is going to be Barbara Gordon, and that is amazing casting.
Yeah.
Michael Reese helping us out again. Was that image of Jason Momoa in the blue Aquaman suit real? Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, that was a terrible first image. That was awful. It made him look like a fucking the Michelin Man.
Yeah, for real. I mean, also it's based on a costume that also looked bad.
Yeah, it's based on a costume that I don't think he never actually wore. It's a fucking Tempest costume.
again, freaking, you knocked it out of the park with the orange guys.
Yeah.
I know it's
You
all
just
about
don't
toyetics.
broke. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You know.
I know it's all about toyetics and you need new costumes so you can sell new action figures and everything, but at the same time, it was already perfect. Likewise with the Shazam costumes. I don't care for the new Shazam costumes.
Really, I like it.
I think it's too much armor. I think it's too self-serious. I think it's everything the first one wasn't. Obviously, I will give Sandberg and the team the chance because they did so good in that first.
Knowing Sandberg, that's probably going to be hinted at in the film. Like why are you wearing armor? You're like Superman. Like there'll probably be some sort of meta commentary on it.
I would like that a lot because it's like, oh, I like it because it doesn't look like a child's costume. It is a child's costume. Billy Batson is a child. That's what he thinks is cool. That's literally the point. How did you not see that?
Maybe they can like do it away as like, no, I'm a teenager now. I'm angsty. It's like, so now I need armor with piping and everything.
That would be cool. Like if they work that into the plot, I will like fucking applaud. I will. Like you can lampshade it, you can have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. What else are we going to be seeing? Oh, I imagine we'll probably won't see anything, but probably get some sort of like cast confirmation or something on Superman and Lois season 2 because that's filming at the moment.
Yes, it is.
So I imagine we'll get something from that. I know they just recently cast someone as like a sheriff of Smallville who's trying to like control Superman or something.
Yeah. That's interesting because we had the fire chief in the last one giving him trouble.
Yeah.
Now the chief of police is giving him trouble.
Next, the season 3 will be like the guy in charge of like the EMTs and the ambulances and everything.
Then after that, it'll be the garbage man and the ice cream man in that order, giving Superman a hard time. You know, the real heroes, the pizza guy,
the first responders.
Yeah, really, always there. As Tevye says, what about, will there be a comic book side? Maybe. We'll see.
I have no idea.
That's going to be my last thing, because they haven't announced that there's going to be a comic side of DC Fandom. I assume there is, but I also know that clearly they don't care about comics as much, because literally the first time they did it, they put it off to the side.
They know that that's not what people are there for. People are there for to see the fucking new Batman trailer.
It's also, it doesn't make them as much money as it used to.
No.
The future of superheroes is multimedia projects. It's TV and streaming and video games and everything else. And also, if you're good, I guess you could have a little comic news.
Yeah, I have to imagine. The problem is, it's like when the last one was, I think that was when Infinite Frontier and all that was announced.
Also that, yes.
Where we've just kind of finished that, and we're going into the second chapter of that. Like I think the second chapter of that starts next week with that Justice Incarnate book.
So, that's soon.
So I don't think there is anything like that. We're not coming to the end of an era for DC where they can reboot.
That's true. Again, there's nothing that big to talk about because DC just got done a big reboot, and by and large, things are going pretty good.
Yeah, we've got like, we're just starting off that Superman Warworld arc. We're coming to the, I guess like the biggest thing would be like obviously Joshua Williamson taking over Batman.
Yeah, that is probably the biggest change.
And we already knew about that.
Yeah. Jose asking a very good question. Are you going to be doing a show immediately after like last year? We were lucky last year because it ended on a Sunday. We don't know if it's 1 or 2 days because Fandom is put together by volunteers who don't do a great job getting the message out there sometimes.
I feel like it's 1 day and it's just like all like this stuff.
Okay. We're going to keep our day and time as we always do, Sunday at 10, but keep in mind when we do, it will be probably a super extra sized episode.
Yeah.
Where we'll be able to cover all of this. And, hopefully a sneak peek for a Harley Quinn Season 3. Yeah, I would like that too, Frank.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing they have going for them. Hey, maybe that Superman animated show too that they're got in the works.
And
that
the Batman one, yeah.
I forgot they had 2 of those in the works.
Do you think we'll get anything from like the movies that announced, like the Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman or the J.J. Abrams Superman stuff? We
can hope, but I think that sounds very far away.
Yeah.
I would like that a lot, but I'm not going to hold my breath either.
Yeah, do you think this is be the event where they announce the Snyder Cut?
Oh, I mean, we can only hope, right?
They'll bring Snyder back, and he'll be in charge of everything in DC, including the comics.
It's the DC Universe Snyder Cut edition. That's another thing too, where I feel that maybe Fandom doesn't have as much of the heat as it did before. That I feel like a lot of the original Fandom was kind of the Snyder cult pushing that.
Oh, if you followed the live chat when this was happening, it was just full of people spamming it. It was just like bots and everything just spamming the same thing.
And it's like, okay, you gave them what they want, so what do they want now?
Yeah.
Which again makes them kind of.
Well, they want the Ayer cut now because that's apparently cinema.
Which honestly, I would probably much rather see the Ayer cut.
From what I've seen on the script, no, you don't.
No, not good.
No.
I mean, we did see the extended cut of Suicide Squad, and that honestly made the movie a little worse. The scenes they put back in, where it's like, fuck, I see why you cut these scenes. These, muddy the waters completely. Yeah. All right, then. So that's basically all the news, everyone. Again, shorter this week, but that's only because we're going to have a massive deluge next week.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Fandom again.
Same, it's good. It's we're big fans of events here, and it brings us all together as a comic book community. We celebrate the good stuff, we laugh at the bad stuff. It's a good time had by all.
Yeah.
And I guess with that, we can hop over into what we read this week. Didn't read a lot this week, but what I did read, I did enjoy.
I think I had like 3 DC books. Didn't have all that many.
Same. I also only had 2 DC books this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very short one. And the first DC book I had this week was Batman Fear State.
Yeah, this continues to happen? Question mark.
Yes. Things just kind of continue to happen around Batman, and he's there sometimes.
Yeah, he's kind of there, kind of getting involved, but kind of not.
This whole issue is just about Peacekeeper 1 fighting Peacekeeper X, and I'm like, cool, none of you are the Scarecrow.
Yeah, like, we get it. They're, like, infected by Peacekeeper 1 is infected with the Scarecrow stuff. Or maybe mind control.
Yeah, because that seems to be the thing now, because Miracle Molly thinks that she's cracked the case and that Scarecrow might either have used or is planning to use Master Wise's machine to do something to the minds of the people of Gotham.
Which doesn't make any sense, because he was already using Mad Hatter tech to, like, they made it a point to say that he wants Mad Hatter's technology to use for the mind control. And Batman, he was even under that influence for a time.
Well, we either changed it or freaking Master Wise and Mad Hatter shop at the same place.
They forgot that Unsanity Collective had this like machine. This Chekhov's gun that they'd set up with Batman, maybe going through this machine, and there's that. We'll use that to fold them back into the story, because now they're just sitting in like a garden doing nothing.
Denial saying, what is even Fear State? They've explained it no less than 4 times.
Yeah.
They've stopped the issue.
Read the first 3 issues. You'll get like you'll definitely understand what it is after those 3 issues.
Yeah, because they literally stop and explain it to your face several times. Oh, the Fear State, it's Jonathan Crane's master plan to push human evolution by scaring the shit out of them so they come out the other end stronger. But it doesn't work on Batman because he's been through his own Fear State.
Yeah,
apparently. So yeah, they fight. I love a lot of people joked where it's like, wait. So Simon Saint had a self-destruct on Peacekeeper X, but not on the original Peacekeeper.
That again brings up more questions. Like, why didn't he use Ricardo to begin with? Like it would have been like a really smart plan to like okay, so you wanted like a hero of Gotham or something, and it makes sense and everything. It's like, okay, so why not get someone like Ricardo who the guy knows because he works for him and is kind of implied to be his lover, and someone 100%. He like trusts implicitly and has like the military background. Why not like somehow like build him up like a fake news sort of like he was like the best GCPD cop ever, and
it is where it falls apart. You're absolutely right, because it's like, no, we need Sean Mahoney because we need a hero cop who got hurt during A-Day, which we also started, so we can build him up and create this narrative that he's this blue collar hero. Yeah, but he's not, though, because he was going to get fired from Arkham, and his dad was a dirty cop, and you're lying about all that. If you were lying about that for Sean Mahoney, you could easily lie for Ricardo.
Yeah, or you somehow, like, do it whereas, like, Sean Mahoney did die in A-Day, and Ricardo was, like, taking his place in identity or something.
Yeah. Are we sure Fear State isn't just the writer's frustration with DC? Sure reads like it.
It reads like they were getting into this event, and then Substack came and like waved the money bundle under his nose, and it's like, oh, I'll just finish off this script in a weekend, and there we go.
Again, thank you, chat, there for the happy Canadian Thanksgiving, and I hope yours improves. That sounds shitty.
Yeah.
Again, I really think Fear State, like, we often joke about this whenever a writer goes on to another company or another project. It's like, oh, sometimes you can pinpoint exactly when they stopped caring, and you can pinpoint exactly when Tynion stopped caring.
Yeah, it's the same with Nick Spencer as well. You can say, and this is the point. Where it all started falling apart, and their heart wasn't in it anymore.
Yep, which is such a shame, because I thought Fear State actually had a really good build-up.
It did, it really did.
And it completely lost the thread of what it was about.
Yeah.
Because it actually was about things going in, but it's not about those things anymore.
No.
It's also stretched way too thin for these tie-ins. I cannot believe we're going to have to read another Detective Comics and another Nightwing.
I read the Detective Comics the other day there, and I'm like, really? Like, this
boring as fuck, wasn't it?
This could be one page in a Batman book.
Yep, boring as fuck, and also way more interested in setting up Task Force Z.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk about a book without a country. Poor goddamn Tamaki, who had a gun to her head on that one.
Ugh.
Here, set up another event you're not writing, and also place it in this event that you're also not writing and have no power over. Fucking lame. Feels bad, bro.
Yeah, at least she for all I've heard, she's staying on once Joshua Williamson takes on. So maybe she'll get a chance to like actually write her own stories and not have to tie into all these different things.
Yeah, hopefully she gets more freedom.
Yeah.
No, what else did you have, Matt?
Let's have a look. Oh, I had the real final issue of Batman Superman.
Oh, yes. Saying goodbye to Jean Lewin Yang before the book becomes something else.
So, I originally thought it ended on the issue 21, with the end of that Worlds Collide story. But then I also remembered that, oh yeah, they like solicited the final issue after that, which is like a one and done story.
Yeah.
But it's really fucking good one and done story. So it's about Calendar Man, and how Calendar Man escapes A-Day with the help of Mixel Spitlick. And Mixel Spitlick saves him from being killed in A-Day from the gas, and all because of like the guy's whole deal. It like interests the imp. Like, it's like, hey, you're kind of a weirdo. Yeah, you like order and the order that the calendars bring and everything. So I want you to like take this hat, this one of my hats, and use it to go and like fuck around with Batman and Superman, and just see what'll happen. And the really cool thing about it is like, because obviously Mixel Spitlick is aware he's in a comic. When Calendar Man gets the hat, he's aware in a comic. He can see like the panel numbers and everything, and the panel numbers are the actual panels in the pages. So like he sees panel 16, which is the 16th panel in that book, and he sees it and he loves it because he loves everything being contained in nice, neat, orderly boxes.
That checks out.
So he's like, oh, I fucking love all this. This is great. And he's invincible now because he's got the hat on. So he gets dropped back in Gotham. Batman tracks like the energy signature because it's weird fifth dimensional energy. Calls in Superman, and they realize that it's Calendar Man. But Calendar Man already knows this because he can actually peer over into the next pages, and it's because of this he actually sees Bruce without his mask on and comes to the conclusion that Batman is Bruce Wayne. He tries to tell a bunch of villains like Kite Man and all that at like the Iceberg Lounge, and they're like, oh, how did you come up with this conclusion that Batman is Bruce Wayne? And he's like, oh, well, an interdimensional int gave me a hat, and it allows me to see beyond the bounds of our reality, and I looked over into the next page and saw Bruce, and they're like, okay, you're fucking insane, and they beat the shit out of him. But what he does, it's so cool. What he does is he actually hits a bottle from Kite Man's hand, and it falls down through the page, and he catches it in the next panel and uses it to like slash out their eyeballs.
This whole series has been doing a lot of really interesting stuff with comic as an art form, hasn't it?
Yeah. He ends up fighting the villains, the heroes, and it's a great panel where like they're in the middle panel, and Calendar Man is all around the panel, beating them up from outside the panels. He gets like a pen that can like cross things out, so he crosses out Batman's batarangs that just disappear from reality before they hit him. But then he drops the pen and it cuts off his arm. And he's like, oh, what do I do now? I can't do anything now because I've got no arm. So the heroes end up saving him, and he realizes they aren't so bad. And Superman destroys the hat and realizes Mxyzptlk was behind this. Mxyzptlk decides, you know, it's not worth my time anymore. So he like erases Calendar Man's memory of all of this and grows back his arm. And he's like, then the final 2 pages are directed at us, the reader. It's like, why do you guys keep coming back week after week when you know the heroes are gonna win? It's like, you've been here since 1938, and I wasn't even in the comic until 1944, and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, I guess that's okay because it's fun.
Oh, that's fun, man. You know, this series was like short-lived, but I think it's easily a shoe-in for like my best of the year.
It's so good that it was just so different from like your usual Batman, Superman fight Joker and Lex Luthor.
Speaking of Gene Luen Yang too, I think his book American Born Chinese actually got optioned.
It did by Netflix. Yeah,
good for him. So he's going to be making some fuck you money soon. Everyone gets some fuck you money,
as long as it doesn't like ruin any of his plans for like comic books.
Shame that they cut this one short, but I'm guessing they cut it short because when Williams takes over, whatever Philip Kennedy Johnson does, they probably want Batman, Superman to become something new.
As I said, we'll probably get like a Jace Fox, Jonathan Kent books at some point.
Not a terrible pitch at all. No. We're both sons.
No, it's not a terrible pitch, but I also wish we could get more of Gene's books here, just because they're so fun. And so creative. So creative and different and everything. I mean, we're going to get some more of his ideas because that whole Archive of Worlds thing finished with like a tease for like Infinite Frontier with Darkseid finding out about him and everything. So
right, interesting.
Yeah. Well, at least we're going to get more of that.
Yeah, it feels like he's one of those talents that the big two should really nail down with a nice, big, juicy contract before he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, before he goes to Netflix.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, you gotta get him while the getting's good. But at least he had one really goddamn great run. Yeah, I was screwing around already this week and thinking like, hey, what were my favorite comics I read this year? And I kept coming back to that one. I'm like, well, that wasn't like anything I've read. So yeah, it was pretty fucking good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
It was pretty fucking good. So I'm all about that. What else did I have this week? Ooh, I had Spider-Man 75.
I did as well.
We both read this one, the starting of the Beyond era for Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it's great because it's not convoluted and full of shit that's never going to matter.
It's about as streamlined as it could get, and I think after that last Kindred Saga arc, I think it's basically what everyone wanted for Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it's even funnier when Peter is like, I don't want to deal with that Kindred stuff.
Literally. That's his whole character arc and thrust. I don't want to deal with what happened to me the last couple months.
Yeah, I can't unpack that today.
Yeah, fans like, legit, man, we agree. We also don't want to deal with that right now. There's shit that book reminds me of, too, where it's like, oh, yeah, Peter's still technically in school right now trying to get his doctorate because Xavier, Otto got his doctorates and he knew that was bad, so he wants to go and get it again. Properly.
Yeah, they had that whole thing at the start of Spencer's run where they didn't count because he wasn't the one doing it, sort of thing, and
they actually bring back quite a lot of stuff from Superiors. We discovered that when Otto was in charge of his body, he actually brought out all the proper trademarks and everything for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which is fucking genius, as it would be, and because Peter hasn't been keeping up with that because he's been ignoring everything in his life, the people, responsibilities, etc., etc. The Beyond Corporation has been able to swoop on in and buy all the Spider-Man copyrights.
Yeah, so they now own Spider-Man.
In perpetuity, and also to everyone who's ever called themselves Spider-Man, which means Miles and everyone else is going to have to get involved.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
As the chat is saying, so basically Peter is dealing with Sony. Yeah, you could probably say that the Beyond Corporation is a stand-in for Sony.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a Spider-Man, but he's just a pale clone imitation of you.
Yeah, didn't we say when this was first announced, this would be a great way for them to have, like, this is the MCU Spider-Man, and this is the Sony Spider-Man?
Kind of.
Yeah.
saying, hey, what about Peter's supposed ring he was going to give to Mary Jane? Yeah, we seemingly forgot about that. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's in his back pocket somewhere.
Yeah, he again. I'll deal with that later.
Doesn't want to deal with it right now. A lot going on. Did you love the panel as much as I did when Ben rolls back into Peter's life and he's at his absolute lowest? He's got asked for an extension. His friend is dead. You know, everything's going wrong. He's all disheveled because he just got out of bed. And here comes Ben, his clone, in a nice suit,
haircut and everything. Yeah.
He's got a big new job. He's got money. He's got a girlfriend. He's got corporate backing. He's got a suit that's better and more high tech than his.
Yep.
Some people were quick to say, like, oh, this is just retreading superior Spider-Man. No. Peter wasn't in control for that. Now he can actually see someone being a better Spider-Man in front of him.
Yeah, now he might be able to appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, that, oh, shit, this guy actually has his life together. And also the book straight up saying, like, yeah, Ben has everything Peter doesn't have, but Ben, like, sacrificed, you know, his integrity.
Yeah, he's a sellout now.
Yeah, he's not evil, and, like,
he makes reference that he knows he is a sellout. It's like, I'd rather them do this with me than not with me, you know?
Because they're gonna do it with someone, they might as well do it with me, because, you know, I've had it rough too.
Yeah.
And, you know, I need to get up, I need to come up.
Yeah.
But, you know, because I'm not evil, I'm asking you, like, hey, are you all right with us sharing the Spider-Man mantle?
Yeah, and Peter's like, no.
And somewhere Miles' ears are burning, sharing the Spider-Man mantle. I feel like there's a conversation I should be involved in.
I really hope as well, I mean, the story's not done yet, but I really hope that somehow they reference Ben Reilly's time in space with Iron Man, because that's where he is at the moment in the Iron Man book, and he's still Scarlet Spider in that.
I think Zeb Wells talked about that, actually, on Twitter.
Awesome.
He's like, yeah, don't worry, everyone. I realize that doesn't make sense at the moment, but it will.
Yeah, awesome.
So that's nice. They're definitely paying attention on that one. Yeah, we get some backup stories in this one. We get Misty Knight and Colleen Wing. It looks like Ben Reilly is trying to build a new team.
Yep.
Which I thought was kind of cool. And also, we see his handlers at the Beyond Corporation talking to Dr. Kafka because, you know, she's trying to make inroads with all these new Jackal clones and clone psychology and everything.
Yep.
Including Electro, who is back now.
Yeah.
And also, it looks like they're keeping both Electros because it's the Lady Electro who's going to be in that Villains for Hire book.
Yep.
It's funny, too, that they're asking Kafka about clones because Kafka is a clone.
That is pretty funny. I guess they would know what's best.
I guess she would, right? I guess she would know. And I'm like, but did they know that she's a clone? Because I forgot she was a clone, honestly. I had to Google it to remind myself that she was technically dead, too, and also came back to life.
Yeah, I have to imagine they do, yeah.
Bizarro guy bringing up something interesting, saying, curious if we'll get a new take on Jameson hating Spider-Man, knowing that Beyond stole Peter's identity. Yeah.
Oh my god. I just like made me think of something. It's like, oh, is Peter gonna like go to Jameson and be like, do your Spider-Man menace on this guy and like make him look like the bad guy?
Yeah, oh my god, that would be for look.
He becomes everything he hates.
Yeah, look, Jonah. You're only good at like a handful of things, and one of those things is hating Spider-Man. Well, I hate Spider-Man too.
Him and Jameson are going to set up a podcast.
They're going to start a podcast where it's just them doing 3-hour streams talking about what shit Spider-Man is. Oh my god, that would be fucking amazing.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that I suppose that's after Peter gets like better from like his supposed like cancer dose that he gets at the end of this issue.
Yes, of course. As we knew, something bad was going to happen to Peter in this issue. And I think they do a pretty good job explaining it by having him fight the UFOs, who show up at a place that Ben knew to be at, and the Beyond Corporation was sure to give him a suit that would protect him. So it's like, oh, the Beyond Corporation totally set this up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They totally set this up. This was a trap. And, you know, the UFOs, obviously, the last time we saw them, they were fighting the frickin' Immortal Hulk over in that book. So they're Hulk-level bad guys.
Yeah. And they're a little bit more than what Peter could actually handle. I did find it strange that, like, it's like, really, Peter doesn't, like, have something insulate his suit. And, like, you would think, because he's a smart guy, you'd think he'd have a bit more than just, like, web shooters.
I'm trying to think where it's like, but none of his villains are like corrosive in that way.
I mean, you probably still want something like just as like a contingency. He's a smart guy. You would think he would have thought of that.
I mean, maybe it is, but it's also like they beat him up. They basically dropped a nuke on him and then filled his lungs with poison gas. So it took like 3 things to kick his ass.
That's true, yeah.
And also, it's like, he's feeling bad. He's off his game from everything else that's going on right now. So, he slipped.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, at least they used pre-existing foes. At least they didn't, like, go all Doomsday and have to create, like, a new guy.
Yeah, that's true.
At least it's like, look, we're actually going to give the UFOs kind of like a push on this one, being, look, if they can fight the Fantastic Four, if they can fight the Hulk, they can beat up Spider-Man.
That's true, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And honestly, I didn't see a lot of other people have problems with it. They're like, all right, you took Spider-Man off the board by dropping a nuke on him. That's fair.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of, he's not just like giving up just because he, got beaten up by a Scorpion or something.
I'm glad our minds both went to Scorpion. Like, who's the lamest villain to take him off the table? Scorpion.
Yeah.
Oh no, Scorpion sprayed poison in my mouth. Oh.
I've got to go to the dentist, so I can't be Spider-Man for like 4 weeks.
Another guy in my chat had a really funny one where it'd be like, wouldn't it be hilarious if Spider-Man's not actually hurt? He's just pretending to be hurt, so Ben can like take the weight off his shoulders for a bit.
Yeah, he's pulling that. Oh, I really wish I could do it. I'm a bit too hurt. Oh, sorry.
I'm so tired because like he knows that like Ben's not a bad guy and Beyond doesn't seem to be evil just yet. Where it's like, yeah, man, I need like a personal week where like MJ and me can like watch Netflix and shit.
But I guess that goes back into that MJ part and that where like she knows that he won't stop for just 5 minutes just to unpack everything. Because he needs Spider-Man now more than ever because that's like his getaway. So it's like, I can just go be Spider-Man. I don't have to worry about any of this anymore. And that's being taken away from him now.
Yeah, he keeps throwing himself back into it over and over again, which could be an interesting premise for a story where it's like, yeah, you don't have Spider-Man anymore to fall back on, so you need to actually put Peter Parker's life in order.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. And again, it's going to be like a weekly thing, so we got like a new issue next week.
Yeah, and it's even better because like you see like a lot of time like issues either spend too much time on Peter Parker or too much time on Spider-Man. There's never really a good balance, whereas here like you have a Peter Parker and you have a Spider-Man who technically is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So you get both of them.
A lot of places they could go with this. Off to an interesting start, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time before we get Kane and the Jackal and all these other characters because it's the Lady Dr. Octopus, who was a Ben Reilly villain first.
Yep.
That shit's bound to happen.
That's coming.
My words.
That's coming.
Oh yeah, that's definitely coming. All right, what else did you have this week, Matt?
Let's have a look. Oh, we had Dark Ages issue 2.
Yes, we did. This one continues to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, this one again, like proving that Tom Taylor can just like kind of spin gold from anything. It turns its head on the whole post-apocalypse thing. It's like, what if the apocalypse was actually good and like the world is now at peace and like more cohesive than ever?
Yeah. Sure, we got the odd vampire attack, but look, we got fucking Blade. We can handle.
Yeah,
that.
we got Blade. We got Laura coating her blades in silver and all that sort of stuff. We're set.
Yeah, I think that's very fun. Where it's like, yeah, technology all went away. The first couple of years were rough, but the superheroes used their powers, to be a warm light for everyone to gather around. And with the death of industry, we actually walked back global warming.
Yeah, and now everything's kind of cool. We got Charles Xavier and a bunch of other telepaths acting as like an organic internet. We're all good.
Keeping us up to date. Hey, Xavier, who won the football game? Thanks. Hey, Xavier, can I have some pornography? Thanks. Hey, can I order some Amazon stuff? It's just Nightcrawler actually delivering packages. That's what we're doing now. It's all Tony Stark living in a cave now.
Yeah, yep.
The irony is not lost on me on that.
He's living in the cave, and instead of being like an industrialist or anything, he's now like an alchemist.
He's an alchemist. He's gone back to the dark. I love he's learned to turn lead into gold. And he's like, man, this would be really cool if there was money anymore.
Yeah, if this is totally useless, so I don't know why I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm not a rich guy in the apocalypse anymore. We see Peter raising his daughter, teaching her how to swing, and she has a very cute pink spider.
Yeah.
We see an older version of her too, so I think we're actually going to keep jumping in time as well.
I imagine we will, yeah.
Because we jump a couple years here, they're like, yeah, there was a couple years of war before we got it together.
Yeah, years of wars, so Taskmaster and Hawkeye and all these characters died, and then all the heroes got together and sort of solved all of like the world's problems and everything.
Except for damn Apocalypse, though, they couldn't solve him.
Yeah, him and he's got his section over in Europe.
Which he's turned basically into New Egypt, enslaving people to build statues to him.
Yeah, and we learn all this because Captain America comes to see Tony and wants like his thoughts about something, and we learn that it's not actually Tony, it's not actually Steve, it's Mystique masquerading as him.
Which is a shame because I loved Captain America's costume.
It's pretty good. I imagine we'll see him. I imagine he's like captured by Apocalypse or anything or something like that.
Yeah. Funny too, he went to Europe, which I like.
Yeah.
Captain America can't stay away from the European theater no matter how hard he tries. And yeah, Apocalypse has this great plan to turn the lights back on, but even though he's pretty smart, he needs someone like Tony to take it to the next level.
Yeah, he's already got Reed Richards and Riri Williams working for him and everything, and you think that they're working for him because they want a chance at survival and everything, but it's fairly obvious that they're probably being mind controlled by the Purple Man.
Wow, great use of Purple Man. I feel like a lot of writers are afraid to use Purple Man because it's like, well, he's too powerful.
Yeah, but here he's used just enough, just a perfect amount.
I'm assuming is that his powers probably don't work on Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, Apocalypse is probably too powerful for him.
I have evolved to the point where I can close my smell gland so your pheromone shit can't work on me, dude. No one controls Apocalypse. Slap. I like Purple Man got a new design, too. He looks even grosser.
Yeah, he does.
Looks like a goddamn pickup artist, which he kind of is.
Yeah, he pretty much is.
It's the ultimate slimy pickup artist. And poor Magneto is a goddamn battery.
Yeah, Magneto's being used to shield their power sources so they'll work instead of just shorting out like all of Tony's stuff does thanks to the EMP covering the Earth.
Which is super clever as far as ideas go.
Yeah, and one I'm like, oh, well, he's, in this universe, Magneto is a villain and everything. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. It's morally okay.
It's morally okay. And apparently Apocalypse's big plan is that he wants to get back with the Unmaker. He says, when my mind touched the Unmaker in issue 1, it touched a true god.
Yeah, he got a little sniff of that cocaine that god was having, so he wanted some more of that.
I need another hit. I need it bad.
Yeah.
I need that Unmaker. I don't care what I got to do it. I'm going to do it. Yeah. I like that they remembered that Shocker is an engineer. Yeah, I guess he is, isn't he? He's never shown to be that smart, but if he can make and maintain these things...
Yeah.
I guess he's more intelligent than the average person.
Yeah, and the book ends with Tony going under Purple Man's control to be forced as a slave to work for Apocalypse.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I imagine the heroes are going to figure out something happened to Tony and they're going to go look for him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Also, clearly he gets a suit because we've seen the art.
Yeah, well, I think he had one in the cave. There was a couple of steam-powered ones in the cave.
I gotta chop wood for my new Iron Man suit.
Yeah, and he's got a prosthetic leg as well.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of in-between stuff. Hey, how did that happen?
Yeah.
A vampire probably bit him and he had to cut it off.
Oh, I think it might have been from when in that first issue, his suit gave out when he was in the air and he fell to Earth.
That's right. I forgot about that'd do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably do it. Makes sense. What else did you have, Matt?
Had Justice League Infinity issue 4.
I also had this.
Yeah, Wonder Woman goes out with Darkseid. It's in a relationship with Darkseid.
Well, a version did from another
A lot of people didn't seem to realize that.
No, I know a lot of people totally got that wrong. Also, hey, this is a fun reference to the Super Friends, where that was actually a thing, where Darkseid was all simping over Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and this issue was full of references to old Justice League stories like Paradise Lost.
Yep.
And all that good stuff with Hades and all that stuff.
I loved what they did with Hades because they totally picked up on an idea that the show mentioned then never played with again, and that is Hades might have been Wonder Woman's spiritual father, but she's unsure.
Yeah, he also could have just been lying.
We don't know.
Just to fuck with her.
but clearly that weighed on Wonder Woman's mind. And I love the reason that she was super pissed at this multiversal version of herself is not for loving Darkseid, but for maybe showing that something like that runs in the Wonder Woman family. Because if her mother could fall for Hades and this version of Diana could fall for Darkseid, then she's like, oh no.
Yeah, I'm following the trend. It's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a terrible cycle. And yeah, I just thought that was a very clever idea. In general, what I really love about this series is that it's a multiversal DC story, which we see so much of, but it uses the framework of multiversal DC to tell these really interesting one-and-done stories.
Yeah, it's like a it's sort of like I guess like a Tales of the Crypt sort of thing, where like you have like a Mazo in that mirrored realm, and he's like, I'll pick up this piece of mirror and see what universe is in that this week.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's so cool. It's my favorite Justice League book. It's maybe one of my favorite team books on the shelf right now.
It's really good.
And I never thought I'd love it as much as I did, and also just continues to prove that J.M. DeMatteis is just a fucking machine. He's one of the oldest men writing comics today, and he can still bring the goddamn heat.
Yeah, and it helps as well as like the characters that like he and the co-writer James Tucker and all that like wrote for so many years on that show.
That too, that most of the heavy lifting has already been done. It feels like a true sequel, and it references all these great nostalgic episodes. Every time I read it, I'm like, ooh, I want to go back and watch that episode. I'm like, ooh, I want to watch the whole show now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really strong. It's really, really strong. If you haven't checked it out, everyone, you need to check it out.
It's really good, yeah.
And even deep cuts like frickin' Superman of Earth D, which you gotta love that. What else did I have this week? Ooh, I had Hellion 16 as we enter the end game for this series.
Oh, what's going on with Hellions?
So the team is breaking up now that, Sinister tried to kill them all, did kill them all, have been manipulating their mind. Empath forced Havoc to blow up his laboratory, killing the Chimera mutants, but also killing Psylocke's daughter's memories that existed in the computer. It got so bad and the explosion was so big, Cyclops and like the real X-Men had to come in and deal with it, and they're like, whoa, what the fuck is happening here?
Oh no.
And they had to catch up. Here's the funny thing, though, is when they like take their like broken and bloody corpses back to Krakoa to be healed, Cyclops is talking to Emma, and they're like, you know what? I'm kind of sad about this. I was actually rooting for the Hellions. I wanted them to succeed.
Kind of talking like, I guess, maybe the writers and the audiences. And
a little bit. It's like, yeah, they're these, freaks and weirdos and outsiders, but if, they could be good for Krakoa and they could reintegrate and everything, it proved that we could all be saved. But I guess we fucked up by giving the reins to Mr. Sinister, huh?
Didn't think that one through.
Nope, we did not think that one through. It gets even better because Cyclops is like, but we can punish Sinister, right? For, screwing with his people and, making Chimera mutants. And Emma's like, nah, he's on the council. This will bounce off him.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, this is Sabretooth is getting out of the void. We could just throw Sinister in there instead.
Yeah, can't we just throw him in the hole there? I love that where Emma's like, nah, he's on the council. This is going to, like, totally bounce off. Again, showing that Emma is the best one, where she's like, look, Justice wouldn't have found him, so that's why I had to put Empath in as a sleeper agent.
Yeah, and she's totally right as well, because, like, yeah, like, she'd, like, take this to the council and was like, he's been doing all this evil shit and genocide and all this, and Xavier would be like, oh, well, he's learned his lesson, he'll be fine.
Also, too, as she says, the whole island literally runs on his cloning tech, so...
Yeah, exactly.
So Sinister was always kind of above the law. Which is even better, too, because, like, Beast in one of the little appendices writes Emma and, like, oh boy, I sure dropped the ball, didn't I? As the head of the mutant CIA, I probably should have caught this one first, huh?
No, I was too busy doing my war crimes.
Literally, he's like, oh, well, thanks, Emma, for doing my job for me, basically.
Yeah, back to my war crimes.
Yeah, back to my bullshit that I'm on. And, oh, man, Grey Crow is just the best here, because, like, all of his machine parts have been destroyed, and they're, like, rebuilding him on a table, and he's looking at Empath, who's on the next table getting healed. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you when I get up here. You're a dead man, motherfucker. You gotta run.
I've loved their whole, like, rivalry from, like, the first issue. It was so good.
It's the best. And Wild Child, he's gathering all these guns and everything. I'm gonna kill Sinister, I'm gonna kill Empath, I'm gonna kill them all. And Wild Child's like, you can't do that, man. They're gonna throw you in the hole right next to Sabretooth. And he's like, they can throw me in the hole and I'll laugh all the fucking way down. Such a goddamn badass. Psylocke is all pissed off now because she's like, look, I knew what I did was wrong, helping Sinister to save my daughter. It doesn't make it right. I've shamed myself. I'm going to leave Krakoa and the island forever. And I'm like, sure you are. We already know you're going to be in the next several books. And Empath feels bad because he's like, oh, I was such a cold psychopath and I only wanted Emma Frost's approval. But also I feel so bad because maybe these guys actually did like me, maybe even love me.
Yeah.
What was the other? Oh, Havoc got it worse though. He's like, so I saved the day. It's like, oh yeah, you saved the day. You're gonna be a big hero. But I didn't do anything. Empath made me do it. Yeah, well, we're not gonna tell anyone that. As far as everyone is concerned, you're a hero. Oh, and we're gonna bring Madeline Pryor back to life for you. That's your reward. Oh, that's all I wanted, but I don't deserve it though. So even when he fucking wins, he loses. Alex Summers. It's amazing. Just such wonderful sad sack.
Oh, that's great.
And that's basically the issue. They've broken up. They're threatening to kill each other, but they're probably going to have to come back one last time.
Yeah.
It's good shit. Again, if you haven't been reading Hellions, now is the time to read it because there's only 2 issues left.
Yeah. That's a shame that series is ending.
I know. It's unfortunate. But, again, Zeb Wells is writing Spider-Man, so, I guess that's a promotion.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to see the book under anyone else. I think it takes a very special sort of person to get that kind of weird, dark, fucked upness.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. I had one more. What about you?
Yeah, I had one more as well.
I had Defenders #3.
Ooh, what's been going on in the Defenders?
Oh, a lot of time travel. Magic time travel.
Oh, really?
Yes, in the first issue, they went to Galactus's planet and met the Eater of Worlds before Galactus.
Nice.
They teamed up with his mom, and his mom is now just part of the team.
Okay, cool.
And she's the best. She's like a big science-y Conan.
Nice.
They go back to the 5th cosmos and start killing monsters, and we meet another Sorcerer Supreme, Moradin, who Al Ewing actually created for his New Avengers series.
Okay.
Moradin is Cthulhu, in case you're wondering.
Okay.
Just straight up Cthulhu.
Okay.
A big, gross squid face monster, and he explains the original rules for magic, saying, back in the day, they were all bound to symbols, the swords, the scepters, the wands, and it's like, hey, isn't that a lot like the tarot cards that Doctor Strange gave to each member of his team? Yes.
Isn't that also like a lot of the tarot cards that Doctor Doom just recently used to take all of Dormammu's magic?
A lot like that, yes, actually. And Doctor Strange says, look, I didn't pick the members of this team willy-nilly. You're all actually sigils in a living spell.
Ah, nice.
That's why I picked you all here. And also, I haven't been using my magic all issue, but I will to actually awaken the power within Betty Ross, the Red Harpy.
Cool.
Because the only way to defeat only way to defeat Moradin is to open the green door.
Yeah, okay.
So we're bringing in Hulk shit. So she defeats Moradin, opens the green door. They all fall through. She's fine. She wakes up as Betty Ross, so we haven't actually seen her be Betty Ross in a bit. But everyone else got fused together into a horrible Cronenberg monster.
Oh, nice.
Because we got to bring the body horror in, don't we?
Cool. Awesome.
And that's the issue. It's funny that this book got here before the final Immortal Hulk issue.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe there was some sort of delay or something where
I think
the Immortal Hulk was meant to go first, and yeah.
I think, too, because they had to fire the artist, too.
Yeah.
I think he was already done, but still, they had to kick him to the curb and hope people forgot.
Yeah.
For good reason. Actually, I think that comes out this week or next, Immortal Hulk 50.
Nice.
But yeah, it feels like it's been forever since issue 49.
Yeah, it does. It's like a good month.
Yeah, it's been a really long time for it. Excited for it.
Cool.
But yeah, that was Defenders. Defenders is interesting. It's something different every issue.
Nice. That's cool. Cool.
What was your last one, Matt?
My last book was Rob Williams' new book, Out.
I saw that. Yeah. Dipping your toes into some non-big two. Tell me about Out.
Yeah, well, Out is basically the great escape with vampires.
Cool.
So this first issue, we get introduced to our group, our Steve McQueens and escapees and everything. It's a group who have all been taken to. It's a group of POWs, Allied POWs, who've all been taken to a big castle because they all, at one point or another, have tried to escape from other POW camps, and this POW camp is meant to be like the unescapable castle sort of thing. So they're all there.
A Castle Dracula, if you will.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. Our main character is a Native American codebreaker named Nakona,
Cool.
who no one likes because he understands like German languages and all these different languages, and because he can speak them, a lot of the dumb GIs think that he's a spy because they don't understand that like that was his job.
I am a spy for good, dummy.
So yeah, they hate him and everything, and they hate that like he's with them because he's just gonna like ruin all their plans. Because their plan is when they meet with the POWs who are already in the camp, their plan is to basically escape. They've got like all these people in place. They're, like one of the main guys is like a civil engineer who tunneled out of 3 POW camps, and he's like set up all these tunnels around the place, and they're getting ready to leave. But what we learn is that the German commanders they're getting desperate because like the Allies are in Berlin and Munich and the Ardennes and all these sort of thing. They've uncovered like a coffin, and the Kona gets a look at it, and he's like, there's language on that coffin, but it's a language I don't know. So he's like kind of intrigued by it.
And there's candy in it.
Yeah, and he starts noticing like all these things, like, oh, the castle is like all the walls are like covered in like religious symbols, like all facing inward, and like it's like, oh, it looks like they're trying to keep something in, like don't really know what. And then we kind of find out what that is, because on the last page one of the guys gets like fucking eviscerated by like a weird vampire monster thing. It's the only thing you get to see of the monster.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so
they make you work for it.
Yeah, it starts out like a sort of like just a great escape, like, we're going to escape from this prison, and we're going to beat back the Nazis, and then fucking vampires.
Did you know there were vampires in it when you picked it up, or was that a surprise?
No, I knew there were there's like one on the hidden on the cover somewhere.
I was gonna say that'd be a hell of a twist to say.
I imagine there'll be someone who picks it up thinking it's like, oh, it's cool, a World War II comic. Yeah, let's read this. Then fucking vampires.
Shows up, yeah.
They
should do that for the next Call of Duty.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah, zombies are now the main story.
I'm shocked that hasn't actually happened.
Yeah, I'm sure. The zombie story in Call of Duty is now so convoluted. I'm sure it's happened.
I know. I couldn't believe A, that there was a story, B, that it was that complex.
It's so complex. But yeah, no, this issue is really great. I like all the characters that we get introduced to. They're like kind of like what's the word for it? Like stereotypes of those characters you'd see in like a Great Escape. You got like the loud mouth, and you got the big tough guy, and all those sorts of characters. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Rob Williams does with this, because he's done like he writes the Judge Dredd books at the moment, the 2000 AD. He's done like Suicide Squad, so he's done like some interesting work, and I'm intrigued to see what he'll do with it.
Yeah, it's always.
And
nice
it's only
to
5 issues long.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's always nice to dip our toes into some more indie stuff.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
I guess that's the show for this week then, isn't it? I guess that's everything we had to read. It was a lighter week.
That's everything, yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm going to hopefully catch up on Wolverine this week. I'm like 3 issues behind on that, but I got to catch up on it because we're doing the big Wolverine event.
Yep.
So, yeah, there you go, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this Sunday night. As always, it's a lot of fun. Thank you so much, everyone who donated. It helps us keep the lights on and everything. If you want a delicious deal on some delicious craft soda, be sure to use the Wild Bill promo code down in the description. That always helps us, and, shows people that we're good earners.
Yeah.
I wrote a couple other podcast companies out there to see if they wanted to sponsor us. We'll see.
Oh, awesome. I keep getting, like, on the Streamlabs thing, you get, like, the little notifications. It's like, you can use this thing, and it's, like, stuff like, Raid Shadow Legends and everything. But every time you click on it, like, it doesn't work. I don't know whether it's something to do with their website or whether it's just, like, bullshit. But, yeah.
Maybe. Who knows? Like, we got to get them Audibles and them Casper mattresses.
Yeah, and we got to sell, I don't know, Viagra pills or something,
God, I wish. I wish we got that Adam and Eve sponsorship. I wish we got the Infernal Restraint sponsorship like the McElroys did early on in their career. Look, I don't care what the product is. I'll fucking hawk the product, man. I'm good at it. Always be selling. Always be closing. All right, everyone, I'm going crazy now. Thank you so much for watching and listening. As always, if you're a patron, you'll be able to watch and listen again before anyone else in audio and visual form. We try and get that up for you right away. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and that will net you the audio version, as well as whatever stuff I try and put up there.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much, everyone, and Matt and I will be back again next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.